Now, these stars demonstrate the Big Red brilliance, but now we've got 3 All-Stars trying to argue their way to win this final debate and decide the winner for this season of Big Red Faceoff. We've got Michael Memis, Ryan Lemay, and Luke Bugoni.
Yes.
You guys ready for this last time?
Let's go.
All right, so this first question's for Luke. Who was the MVP for the Cornell men this season?
I think I have to go with goaltender Matthew Galata. He finished 16-8-1 on the year with a .921 save percentage. He was huge for this Cornell team. When backup goalie Austin McGrath went in, he was 5-3-1. That's obviously a worse win percentage. So Galata was huge for this team. He served as a leader and just a great presence for this men's hockey team.
I'm going to go with another sophomore and go with Morgan Barron. 152 shots in the year, which was almost 60 more than any other player on the team, and was tied for the most in the ECAC. He led the team in goals and points with 15 and 34, second on the team in assists with 19, and all his stats significantly improved from his freshman year, and which was a big reason that they made it to the regional finals this year.
I'm going to go with Yanni Caldas. He's an all-Ivy League first-team member this season, all-second-team ECAC. He had a fantastic season. He had 24 assists and was 32nd in the nation for assists per game. I really think he was the heartbeat of the Cornell power play, and I think he was the most valuable Cornell defenseman of the team this year.
Yeah, but when you look at this Cornell hockey team throughout the year, there were many games they were dominated, and Matthew Galata kept them in those games. And when you look at great hockey teams, like, for example, the Los Angeles Kings back when they beat the Rangers in the Stanley Cup, Jonathan Quick was a great goaltender for an average team, and that's exactly what Galata was for this team. He kept them in games when they were outshot, and they'd get wins.
The problem with Matthew Galata is he had a better season last season than he did this season. He was 20-8 last season, and only 16-8 this season, and had a better goals against ratio last season. So I think it was more of a sophomore slump rather than MVP season for Matthew Galata.
Well, records aren't everything for goalies. They finished tied for sixth in the country in save percentage, and when defenders in front of you aren't performing, it's not all on the goalie.
You still have to score to win.
So next question, which men's coach should be awarded the NCAA Coach of the Year award? This question's for Ryan.
I'm going to go with Greg Carvel of UMass. He's been nothing short of revolutionary for this Minutemen program. He's now been here 3 years. In his first year, it was on a great season, but his second year was the biggest turnaround in Division I history for a men's hockey program. And this season, he went 30-9. He beat some great teams. He beat Providence, who was in the Frozen Four twice this season. I think it's a no-brainer that he's the Coach of the Year.
Michael, what do you think?
I'd have to go with Scott Sandlin of Minnesota Duluth. They got the second seed in the tournament, and they're the high seed remaining as St. Cloud State was out. They had Denver and St. Cloud State in the division. St. Cloud State, the #1 overall seed. Denver also in the Final Four. Only a third of their teams are juniors and seniors, so he had to use a lot of young players to get this far. And he's long overdue for this award. He won in 2004, but he's been so good over the last few seasons that it's a shame he hasn't won the award more recently.
I think you have to look at Providence coach Nate Lehman. Similar to the UMass coach, this is his 8th season, and when he took over in that 8th season, he completely turned Providence around. While I know we're talking about right now, he's had a fantastic year with this Providence team. They've won 27 games this year, and to start off this NCAA tournament run, they were down 3-1 to Minnesota State. They won that game 6-3, and then they took down our Big Red 4-0 in the regional final. So now they're in the Frozen Four. I think they'll beat Minnesota Duluth. I know I said Minnesota Duluth would lose last week, but I'm sticking with Providence in this one. I think you have to look at Nate Lehman this year.
I think you guys are both caught up in the past. You got to look at what they've done this season. And Greg Carvel not only led the Minutemen to their second ever appearance in the NCAA tournament, but the first ever Frozen Four experience. I think that both the coaches that you guys are talking about are more experienced and they have more storied franchises, but for UMass and Greg Carvel, it's more of an up-and-coming thing, and I think it's all because of him and what he's done with this program.
Yeah, but UMass had no pressure. They hadn't gone this far before. Minnesota Duluth, they're defending champions. You have all that pressure on you. You usually have the championship hangover, and yet they were better this year. Last year, they were a 3 seed in the tournament. This year, they're the 1 seed in their region.
You also have to look at Providence. 2 years ago, they lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and then last year they lost in the second round. Under Nate Lehman, this Providence team has grown and grown and grown, and I think they easily have the potential to take it all the way this year. I think you guys are overlooking him overall. That's
the thing, though. Your guys' programs have already grown, but UMass is only in the makings of growing, and it's all because of what Greg Carvel has done.
But that program grew 2 years ago. He took over 3 years ago now.
But it's been growing since. I think I have to agree with Ryan on this one. Greg Carvel is the right choice, and that will be announced this Wednesday. So last question for you guys. What's the best part about Big Red Faceoff?
I'm going to have to go with my man, Shane Fox. He's over on camera, too. He's been great this year, always making me laugh, helping me out in the studio. offers me help whenever I need it. He's a great guy, great cameraman.
And you need help a lot. You're always late.
I feel like it's just getting to pretend I know I'm very knowledgeable about hockey. I'm not in real life. Of all the ICTV sports shows I tried out for, this is one I was least likely I thought I was going to make. I knew some names because I was teleprompter last year. Shout out Charlie Novak. But I'm definitely more knowledgeable now, and I've enjoyed the ride so far.
I think the best part of the show has to be the unsung heroes of the show, and that's people behind the camera.
Oh.
I mean, it's easy for us to come up on the camera and just say a bunch of words, but people behind the camera show up early to the shows and make sure everything's prepared. And there's a lot of technical difficulties, but they make sure to power through and give us a great product each single week. So, I mean, I think they deserve a lot of credit.
If we're just looking for points, I have to go with instead of Shane, I have to go with our director, Joe Gertubile. I mean, he's the producer of So You Think You Know Sports. I'm on the final this Wednesday, and I have to shout him out. He's done a great job this year.
Trying to get some extra points next week.
All right. Well, this has been a great end of the debate, guys.